Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend I won't play with her until she learns to accept losing? I'm an experienced chess player, playing this game for as long as I can remember, probably since I was 4 or 5 years old. My extended family loved chess, so I grew up in an environment where I could very easily learn and practice it. My current rating is 1950 plus. My girlfriend is at a lower intermediate level. She learned chess from me during the lockdown, but then took a long break. She started playing regularly a couple of months ago. She mostly plays online against opponents at her level, but she plays with me almost daily on a physical board. The problem, for her, is I always win. When she was a beginner, I used to give her wins and tips to help her build the concepts, but now I don't do that. I believe she should play fairly now, and chess is a game that requires focus, time, and mental effort. Playing it just to give away wins seems too much. However, she gets mildly annoyed. Yesterday, when I was clearly winning, she flipped the board in anger. It wasn't as a joke, she was serious. This really pissed me, felt disrespected. So I boldly told her to better stick to online play until she starts accepting losses like an adult and handles the game maturely. Am I the asshole she got upset? You're clearly not playing her for your own benefit. She's not advanced enough to seriously challenge you. My suggestion would be to go back to coaching and teaching her when you play together. Explain your moves. Gently explain to her when she makes mistakes and suggest better moves. It will be something you can do together that could be very fun if you both approach it the right way. Rewarding for you, because you should see real improvement. Who knows, maybe she'll get to the point where she can really challenge you and win occasionally. Rewarding for her because she'll feel supported by you. You're not the asshole and you're right, she does need to learn how to lose gracefully. But I think you're missing a real opportunity to share your love of the game with someone you love. This just doesn't sound like fun for either one of you. Either play with her in a way that's fun for both of you, or have a discussion that this isn't a good activity for your relationship. She shouldn't be flipping boards in frustration. You shouldn't be so patronizing. I get making it enjoyable for you too, but what's the endgame here? She's somehow gonna get as good as you? You've been playing for decades. I just think it's so fundamentally foolish for y'all to play period, knowing you're gonna win every time. Info. Is she the one who insists on playing with you, or are you? Okay, so she is clearly acting like a petulant child. I have no clue about chess ratings, but I am assuming that she has no chance of winning against you. So, chess used to be a fun bonding experience for both of you when she first learned. You helped her out and gave her a few wins. Now, you have unilaterally decided it's a competition, and she clearly can't compete on your level. Her getting frustrated is not exactly surprising. Am I the asshole for not accepting this birthday gift? I'm turning 21 soon and found out my mom applied for and got approved for a credit card in my name. My initial reaction was, oh, okay. I told her I recently applied to one, and she was disappointed that I did that because she already did it for me. She basically said I ruined her surprise. The next day, I told her to not do it again. She got really upset and blew up on me. Immediately started yelling, calling me ungrateful, disrespectful, and said how she's not the enemy. She had said how all her friends, and even her boyfriend, said it was a good gift too. I tried to defend myself, saying how that's not a good gift, and she told me to shut up. It's been a long week, to be honest. She never apologizes, and I can't talk about my feelings without her being either dismissive or full on victim blaming and yelling. I really want to move out, but currently don't have the funds. Just wanted to know if I'm the asshole for reacting this way to a birthday gift. Pull your credit reports and lock down your credit ASAP. You didn't ruin a surprise gift. You outed that she's stolen your credit. Not the asshole. Fraudulent credit cards are not a gift. Debt is not a gift. Guilt is not a gift. Cancel the card your mom set up immediately. She could have added herself as a secondary on the account, giving herself access to see what you've bought, and even to use a second card that you'd be liable for paying/ruining your credit. What she did is illegal as well. My uncle's ex-girlfriend set up a card in her son's name, ran up $50,000 in debt, and ended up in jail over it. His dad pressed charges when he found out. Not the asshole. That's not a birthday gift. That's identity theft. Freeze your credit at all credit reporting agencies so she can't give you this gift again. Also, maybe cancel that card she may have spending access to it. Not the asshole. Her applying for a credit card in your name is fraud. I would highly recommend that you create a username and password for all of the credit bureaus and freeze your credit everywhere. Put on an additional fraud alert for good measure. Not the asshole in what world is opening a credit card under your name for you a gift to you? That isn't a gift at all. Your reaction is totally valid. Am I the asshole for picking my parents up late from the airport? Throwaway because people know I'm on here. My parents asked me to fetch them at the airport as per usual. They are both semi-retired and travel monthly either for business or for pleasure, so this favor is not new to me. They don't want me to waste money on parking at the airport, so what we have been doing for years is they message me for updates. We have boarded the plane, we have landed, etc., so that we estimate what time I have to leave. Since I am about 30 mailins away from the airport, I am usually asked to leave the house at the same time they arrive. This gives them time to leave the plane, get their baggage, etc. At around 12:30 NN, they informed me that their flight is on time, and their arrival is 15:25. I was already ready to leave by 1400 hours, and was having a mid-afternoon snack at 14:30 while waiting for updates. Apparently, they sent a message to the family group chat that their plane landed at 14:45, more than 30 minutes past, edit, earlier than their arrival time. Since all my group chats are on mute, work-related groups are also on that phone. I do not get notifications unless I am tagged/mentioned, so I did not see their message. I decided to check my phone at around 15:20 since it was close to their arrival time, and saw their messages. I gathered my things, was already walking to the door when my mom called and asked me where I was. I told her that I was leaving and said, "Huh? Why just now?" I told her that I didn't get a notification since I wasn't tagged, and she ended the call. I got to the airport at 15:53, and honestly, I didn't think it was a big deal, but apparently they were stewing in their anger on my drive to the airport. When they got inside the car with my father in the passenger seat, he started shouting at me. Like no holds barred, voice at maximum level, and shouting at me about being completely irresponsible. Telling me things like, "Yes, I am telling you straight to your face how absolutely irresponsible you are," and not giving me a chance to explain myself. We have not talked since I dropped them off. They have defended themselves to my siblings intensely. I can acknowledge that maybe I should have checked the group chat more frequently, but I do not believe their reaction was warranted. I disagree that their reaction was proportionate to my sin. Am I the asshole for refusing to apologize? Not the asshole. Their plane got in early. You were doing them a favor, one that they regularly expect of you, no less. Surely if it was that urgent, they could have called sooner. Also, nothing justifies screaming at you. Absolutely nothing. It's a lot of entitlement and a lot of bad behavior on their part. Not the asshole. No more airport pickups by you, and I would hold firm on that. Unless they give you a sincere apology and you have rules for future airport arrival notification. The least they could have done was to notify you personally and directly that they got in early. It's not on you to check all the possible channels of communication. That's ridiculous. Not the asshole. The minute anyone screams at me in my car, I'd be telling them to STF you. I'm doing you a favor, and you're going to scream at me? No, you don't get to do that. So you can be quiet and appreciate that you didn't have to taxi/Uber, or you can get out of my car and get that taxi/Uber. Don't ever do them the favor of picking up or dropping off at the airport. They're grown. They figured out how to book travel. They can figure out how to get home. Your parents sound rich enough to arrange their own transportation. Not the asshole. I would apologize twice. Once for your mistake, and a second time when you explain why you won't be picking them up again in the future. They had to wait less than an hour, and mostly because their flight was early and because they couldn't be bothered to send you an individual message or call. That's all on them. Let someone else in the family be their next free ride service if they are going to be that rude to you. Not the asshole, don't apologize. If it were me in that situation, I didn't see the notification, and they ended the call, I'd have texted and said, if you want to hang up on me, get an Uber. On top of that, where do they get the balls to yell at you while you're doing them a favor and saving them money? In future, say no. Let them realize how much it'd cost, and maybe they'll appreciate you more. Am I the asshole for refusing to move in a restaurant? Earlier today, me and my girlfriend has a few hours between classes, so we went to Nando's, and when we got there it was completely empty apart from one other table, and the guy at the host stand directed us to a big long table with 10 or 12 chairs at it, and just told us to use that table. I found it a bit odd, but figured no one's here, and it's a very quiet time of day, Monday around 12. So Mai and my girlfriend order food, and it takes about 25 minutes to arrive. Whilst we are waiting for our food, the restaurant starts to get a lot busier. By this point, maybe 70% of the tables are now in use. Our food arrives, and then the waiter comes up to the table and asked if me and my girlfriend would mind moving tables, as they have just had a party of 10 walk in, and none of the other tables are big enough. At this point, I've maybe had half my food, and my girlfriend was the same, so I refused to move and said we'd be done shortly, as we both have classes to get back to. About a minute after this, a woman who looks like she's from an office comes over and asked if I can move, as her workplace is having a staff lunch, and they need the big table so they can sit together. I explained to her the same thing I said to the waiter, that I was sat here when the restaurant was empty, and it wasn't my choice to sit here originally, and that staff had sat me and my girlfriend here, that I also explained that I had not been interrupted 2 times in 5 minutes, and I would like to be able to finish my food, and then they could have the table. The woman repeatedly said she needs me to move, and that as a kid, I should give her the table. For reference, me and my girlfriend are teens. I said that I would not be moving, and went back to eating my food. The manager and the woman came back again, and said the woman and her work people only have an hour for lunch, and they had already waited 10 minutes, and they needed the table back immediately. TBH, I haven't finished my food yet, but my girlfriend has, so she ordered dessert on the app for us both as the manger, and the woman watched, and then they both walked away in a huff. About 10 minutes later, mine and my GFS desserts arrived, and the woman and her work group left, as they couldn't get seated. So am I the asshole? Edit. Just to add on, the food we had ordered would have been eaten, and we would have left in 10:15, and whilst I get it's not idea to have the group, it's not like we'd have occupied the table for much longer. That my girlfriend did only order dessert, as we were getting annoyed with the situation, which I know is a slightly asshole thing to do, but again it felt reasonable due to the amount of disruption to our meal. Also, we asked when we were first seated to move, and the host person said it was fine, and he didn't want to seat us anywhere else. Edit 2.0. When the waiter asked me to move, he came up and his exact words were, "You need to move to that table because there's a big party here and they need this table," and then pointed to a smaller table for 2. Hence my initial response/refusal to move tables. I'm going to go with you are the asshole. Yes, the situation was not your fault. Yes, it was an inconvenience to you, but moving would have taken all of a minute. Your actions punished people who did nothing wrong as well. What really pushed me for you are the asshole was the ordering of desserts. That just feels petty. Next time, why not go with sure, but you need to comp us desserts. That way you punish the people at fault, not other innocent people. Not the asshole. Host messed up, it's 100% their problem. If they didn't want to lose the big table, they shouldn't have sat you at the big table. Also, if they really wanted that 10 top, they should have offered you a free dessert in exchange for moving. When AHs collide, would it have been an inconvenience to move? Sure. Were you being petty by not moving when she decided to be an asshole with the kid comment? Yup. As someone who works in restaurants, I think big parties like that should call ahead so the restaurant can accommodate them properly, and you should been sat elsewhere originally from the start. Plus, if there were no other guests when you arrived, the food should have come out quicker, and you would have been out of the way before being bothered. It's not your fault where you were sat, and it's rude that you were asked to move by not only a worker, but someone from the party. Not the asshole. Why would anyone have seated you 2 at that big table? But they did. I'm sure if your food had not yet arrived, you would have moved, but once you're eating, no way. The manager should have been keeping that woman off your back, not helping her harass you. The manager could have comped you in various ways. If they had offered to make your meal free if you'd move, they'd still have made good money on the office group, and you might have found it worth your while. Not the asshole one. The host was wrong, or the host hates their job and the restaurant. 2. You asked to move immediately and were told you couldn't. 3. Anytime a restaurant inconveniences a customer, it should come with free stuff. Please move and have free dessert on us. 4. The restaurant should not have let the woman come talk to you. That is just silly. 5. The manager and the woman came and harassed you a second time? Nope. Your girlfriend ordering dessert was definitely an asshole move, but hilarious.